Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Fantastic Talks with Vaibhav. I'm super excited to start my own YouTube channel. I've always had plans to start a YouTube channel, but unfortunately I didn't get time back then. But now I do have a little bit of time, so I thought let me start off and let's see where it goes. In case you have any suggestions on any specific topic that you want me to cover, please do mention it in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to read them, and if possible, we'll definitely make a video on the same. The first video that we are going to talk about is the difference between CTC and net pay. So, what is CTC, what is net pay, and how are they different? So, let's get started. Assume that your employer comes and tells you that your CTC is 12 lakhs per annum. What would you imagine? You would imagine that you will get around 1 lakh per month, right? Simple calculation, 12 lakhs divided by 12, 1 lakh per month. That's going to be my salary. But wait, that is not your salary. That is only the CTC or the cost to company. How is that different from net pay or the salary that you will receive at the end of the month? For that, please watch the entire video till the end. Okay, so first you need to understand what is CTC, right? So CTC is the short form for cost to company. So now what is cost to company? Cost to company is nothing but the total cost that the employer or the organization in which you're working will incur to recruit you and to keep you in the organization throughout, right? So you'll be able to appreciate this particular point better once we come to the components of CTC. But for now, just keep this in mind, right? And CTC is again not constant. It is not the same for each employee. It varies based on the designation in which you are hired. So this is in simple terms what CTC means. Now let us go to the components of CTC. So what does CTC comprise of? Right. So this is again very important to understand. The first component of CTC is something called as your basic salary. So basic salary is a fixed amount that is paid by the employer to you for the services that you have performed or the work that you have performed. It obviously excludes bonuses, variable pay, and all other allowances. Since this is paid by the employer to you, it is a cost for the employer and hence it forms part of your CTC. The next component is something called as your allowances. So, what are allowances? Allowances are basically benefits that are given to you by the employer for you to meet certain specified purposes, right? So there are various types of allowances. For example, you have conveyance allowance, you have leave travel allowance, you have house rent allowance, and obviously you have special allowances. So I'm not going into each allowance in detail, but you just have to keep in mind that allowances are given to you for you to achieve certain specified purposes. So let me give an example just to make things clear for you. Let us take leave travel allowance, right? So leave travel allowance is given to you by the employer for you to take leaves and go on certain holidays within India. So this is kind of a benefit that is given to you. And this forms part of your CTC because again, this is paid by the employer to you, right? So this forms part of your cost to company. The next component is called your statutory or performance bonus, which is in simple terms bonus. Each organization has a different nomenclature uh, for your statutory or performance bonus. This is in simple terms the bonus that you receive each year. So again, this is a one-time payment that is given by the organization for the work that you have performed throughout the year. And this varies based on performance. It is not constant for each employee again. It varies based on performance. Uh, so one thing to note here is that if you have a component in your CTC called bonus, it is typically the maximum bonus that the employer can pay you. For example, assume that the maximum bonus that the employer can pay you is say 20%, right? This is the maximum bonus. You cannot earn a bonus beyond 20%. So normally in the CTC, 20% is normally computed and it is entered in the CTC column. This is an important point to note. Obviously, when you receive the bonus, you may receive the maximum or you may receive something lower, right? So this is one important point that you need to consider. The next component is provident fund. So this is again a benefit that is not given to you immediately, but it is a retirement benefit. So there are two components to the provident fund. One is the employer's contribution, and the other one is the employee's contribution. I'll explain this in more detail when we come to the CTC versus net pay reconciliation. But for now, the employer's contribution is what is included in the CTC. So just to put it in simple terms, the employer contributes 12% of your basic salary. The employee also contributes 12% of your basic salary. The component that is included in CTC, as I mentioned, is the employer's contribution. So this is a point that you need to remember. So this is not given to you each month. This will be given to you at the time of your retirement. And how is this calculated? Normally, it is calculated as 12% of your basic plus DA component of the of your salary. The next component is gratuity. So gratuity is nothing but it is the amount that the employer will be liable to pay to the employee on completion of 5 years of service, or in the case of the death of the employee, immediately after the death of the employee. So, as the name suggests, gratuity is paid as a gratitude for the hard work that is done by the employee. This particular benefit will be liable to be paid by the company on completion of 5 years of service or in the case of death. Hence, this is again a cost to the company and hence it is included in your CTC, right? The next component of your CTC is called insurance, right? So, most of the organizations they take a medical insurance policy in the name of the employee, and each month the employer contributes to the insurance premium for the insurance premium every month. This is again this again won't form part of your take home salary, but this is again a cost that the employer incurs because it is paying insurance premium each month to the insurance company, and hence this again will form part of your cost to company, right? So I hope you're clear with the components of CTC. Again, there are obviously a lot of other components that actually form part of CTC. But again, I'm not going into too much detail. I'm just trying to typically explain the common components of CTC, which are normally there for most of the companies, right? Now we have understood what CTC is. Now let us understand what net pay is. So net pay is nothing but the salary that you get in your bank account each month, right? It is the net amount that you get. Why do I say net amount? Because this amount is calculated after all your deductions, which includes your PF, as I mentioned on top, and your income tax. The tax is deducted, PF is deducted, and post that, whatever is the net balance, that is paid to you as salary at the end of each month. So this is in simple terms net pay. Now we need to understand what the difference between CTC and net pay is, right? So the difference primarily arises because of 3 points, three major components. The first one is PF, second is bonus, and the third is insurance. All these three are included in your CTC, but when arriving at your net pay, they may not be necessarily included. So let me give you an example. So PF, bonus, and insurance, as I mentioned above, it forms part of your CTC. But when you look at your net pay, PF is deducted from your gross salary, and what you receive is the net amount, right? Similarly, bonus is something that you receive once every year. So it is not a recurring payment that you keep getting. It is a one-time payment that you receive. And again, insurance premium, as I mentioned, will not come to you as salary in any form. It is just a contribution that is made by the employer to secure your health, right? So the company will pay insurance premium each month, but obviously you will not get that as a part of your net pay. So this is to explain the difference between CTC and your net pay in simple terms. So to probably help you understand, what I've done is I have given the breakup of CTC, I have given the breakup of net pay, and I have also given a reconciliation at the end to help you understand how your net pay and your CTC can be reconciled. Right? So first, let us talk about the CTC breakup. So assume that you have a CTC breakup, something like this, right? So you have a basic salary. Just for an example, you get, say 27,725 per month. So per annum, it is obviously 3,32,000. The next component is HRA, which is typically, it normally is around 50% of your basic salary, right? In most cases, it is 50% of your basic salary. So assume that is 13,863. Your special allowance is 30,380. Your leave travel allowance is given. You have something called as a meal card. So again, this is a kind of an allowance that is given to you for you to make purchases on food. Typically, this is credited to your Sodexo card, and you can use that card to purchase meals from Swiggy, Zomato, etc. Right? And you have employer's contribution to PF. So how is this computed? This is computed as 12% of your basic salary. So your basic salary is 27,725, and 12% of that comes to 3,327. Okay. And assume that the insurance premium each month that the employer pays is around 1,500 rupees. So all these components will make up your cost to company. So this is the total cost that the employer will incur. Obviously, I forgot to mention bonus. Again, bonus, assume that you get 1,07,565 as bonus. This is the maximum bonus that you can get in a year, right? So your total CTC is 10,75,653. So this is the total cost that the employer will incur for you in one particular year. Now let me talk about net pay. Net pay is again computed based on your CTC, right? So the first component is basic salary. Basic salary is given to you at the end of each month. So this is again 27,725 from your CTC breakup. Your house rent allowance is again given to you. It is given to you again. So this is again 13,863 from above. Special allowance is also given to you. Leave travel allowance is also given to you, right? So when you add all these four, this is your total gross salary. Gross salary is excluding all your deductions, which is your PF, your income tax, and other deductions. So this is your gross salary, 74,740 rupees per month, which translates to 8,96,880 on a per annum basis. Now, as I said, net pay is after computing your deductions. So what are the major deductions that uh, is there in an organization? It is PF and it is again income tax, right? Now, PF is computed again 3,327. It is basically 12% of your basic salary. So it is 12% of 27,725, which is 3,327. And income tax. Now, I'm not going into the calculations for the income tax, but again, since your gross salary is 8,96,880, and I'm not considering any ATC deductions, ATD deductions, I'm assuming that 8,96,880 is your gross salary for income tax purpose. And based on that, I have computed the income tax. So your income tax is coming to 33,124, and your PF balance and your PF deduction on a per annum basis is 39,924, right? So after deducting these balances, which is your PF and income tax, your net pay comes to 8,23,832 on a per annum basis. And when you compute it on a monthly basis, your net pay is 68,653. So this amount, 68,653, is what you will receive in your bank account as salary credit, right? Now, we need to understand how do we reconcile these two. We obviously saw how CTC is computed, how your net pay is computed. Now, how do we reconcile these two? So, obviously, we'll start from net pay and then arrive at your CTC, right? So, now my net pay as computed above is 68,653 on a per annum basis is 8.23 lakhs. Now we need to add back my income tax and PF because this is a cost to the employer, but when it comes to the employee, it obviously comes after deduction. So you need to add this back. So 2,760 is my income tax and 3,327 is my PF. So I add that back and I come to my gross salary, right? Now, from gross salary, I need to come to the CTC. So how do I do that? From gross salary, I add meal card. So meal card is added because I don't get this as a part of my salary, but I get this as a form of a credit in my Sodexo card. So this is obviously a cost to the employer, but since it is not included in my net pay, I add that back, right? So 1100, I add that back. And obviously insurance premium, it doesn't form part of my net pay, but it forms part of the CTC. So again, to reconcile that, I add the insurance premium also back, right? And I add my bonus. Why do I add bonus? Because I didn't consider bonus in my net pay, but bonus is considered in my CTC. So I have to add that back. So next one is PF. So if you see here, I've added PF in two places. One here and the other one is here. So why have I done that? Because PF normally consists of two components. One is the employer's contribution to PF and the other one is employee's contribution to PF. If you look at the CTC breakup, this PF component 3327 is the employer's contribution to PF. So the employer will contribute 12% of your basic salary to the fund, and when you see the PF here in the net pay breakup, this PF is the employee's contribution to PF, which is another 12%. So the employer contributes 12%, the employee also contributes 12%. So that is why I've added it twice, right? One is here, which is the employer's contribution to PF, and the other one is here, which is the employee's contribution to PF. And here, if you see, I'm getting my CTC as 10,75,653, which is matching here. Okay. So this is how you reconcile your net pay and CTC. Obviously, as I said, there are a lot of other components which I have not considered just to ensure simplicity. So I hope you kind of understood. In case if you have any doubts, please do mention it in the comment section below. I'll be more than happy to help you out. If you did enjoy it, please like, share, and subscribe it, and share it among all your friends. So thanks a lot for watching. I hope to see you in my next video.